So one of the vehicles, okay, that we use, that we advise with in the tax-free, tax-advantage bucket, okay, is what we discussed in our last webinar, which is what they call the IUL or the LIRP, which is, the Index Universal Life Policy or the Life Insurance Retirement Plan. Okay, this is where we take an insurance policy, and it's not for death benefit, but we customize it for tax-free growth. Okay, and it also protects like the principal from any downside market risk, and that is the structure that a lot of our clients use for wealth accumulation. So let's look at an example.
That's great. I like the example.
So I mean, let's use Justine's example. And you guys were talking about our friends Frank and Lena. We're putting $500,000 into a 401k. Let's say that they put the same amount of money, $500,000 into an IUL.
No, it's $500 a month, Ron, not 500,000.
What did I just say?
500,000.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about one of your clients, Justine. That
okay.
Yes, no. So $500 a month into an IUL. Okay, let's compare it. Okay, so they put $500 a month. And again, here's the key. Everyone has a negative connotation of life insurance, which I think is wrong. Okay, but there's certain policies that you have to understand that if you can customize it and gear it specifically designed for tax-free growth. Okay, the first slides here is Frank. As you can see, Frank is putting in $500 a month, $6,000 a year. Okay, again, illustrations are different for men and women because unfortunately, women they live longer than men.
Because we take care of ourselves. We go to doctors. You don't.
I think so. Or men, we have too much ego. We drink too much and eat too much. So it's different for men and women. So as you can see, Frank and Lena are both putting in $500 a month, which is $6,000 a year. Combined total that they can start to pull out at the age of 67 is about $150,000. Okay, and what you're going to see that remember that with the IULs there are no contribution limits and there are no age restrictions when you can withdraw your money. So they can withdraw $150,000 every year for pretty much the rest of their lives tax free. So when you want to sit down and compare that to the 401k and its taxes, this is one of the strategies that that a lot of wealthy families use, and not even talking about the living benefits if they need long-term care or if there's, obviously there's always a death benefit to pass on to their children and to heirs, but all very, very positive. This is why we call this the big boy Roth or what we call the supercharged Roth. Again, I've been at the board of trade, as you know, Justine, for the last 30 years. Many wealthy families, this is how they continue to grow their families' wealth, above and beyond. So this is.
I know you are the wonder boy in the board of trade.
I'm not the wonder boy. I'm the little boy. But being the little boy, I get to see a lot of things that's going on that's traditional, that I never learned, right? So this is what I want to share.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ron. Ron 刚才呢也帮我们做了2个解释对比的案例。那在这个案例当中呢，也是按照一个男生一个女生的样子呢，给我们做每个月放500块钱，在这个指数万能险当中会有什么样的不同？当然从比较中也能看出来啊，这假设这个2种账户投资是一样的，那么他们到最后能够收入到的钱是178万。那么在他最后能收到，他
不是吧？应该是这样的，我觉得是主要是2个，尽管是收益率我们都用的都是一样，是6%，是吧？但是你看到他最后拿出来钱差的很多啊，这里唯一的区别就是一个税，不是一个投资投在哪里的问题，而是对吧？就不是说你投了 Apple 的股票，我投了 Google 的股票，不是这个原因，完全是因为
交税和不交税。
对，
okay. 谢谢。Okay, Ron. How have IULs performed in the past?
Well, Ray, let's take a look. Let's pull up the next chart. Compared to the S&P returns over time. The red is the S&P. The blue is a IUL. As you can see, during down years, like 2002, where the market was down, S&P was down 23%, and in 2008 was down 38%. IULs lost zero. So this is the key concept. So there's guaranteed principal, guaranteed no loss. So those are very, very key. So there's no loss to these contracts. And in up years, like 2012, where the market returned, S&P returned 13%, IULs returned 12. In a year that's spectacular, like 2013, S&P's returned very strong, 29%. IULs returned 12. Okay, so the key concept here is no loss provisions. It stair steps and keeps going up. You don't give back your gains. And in the next slide, if you pull the next slide, these are actual credits. Everyone always asks me, Ron, I've heard really negative connotations about life insurance. Listen, I've been in the trading business, in the financial business for 30 years. I've heard the same thing, negative connotation about life insurance. I did the same thing. You hear the term, buy term insurance and invest the rest. But who does that, right? There's certain life insurance policies that I had to research that actually give very, very positive benefits, that not for investing and not for trading, but for retirement. So you look at this thing. A lot of people ask, okay, I got this illustration from a guy that's telling me this is what the potential credits are at, but these are actual credits. Look at this. So on the next, here you see the actual credits from the past. 2008, 2009, which were down years in the stock market, you returned zero. 2012, 2013, 2014, you're hitting 14% returns in these targets. Okay, so I came from the same space. A lot of people were like negative life insurance, but no, you have to do the research. There are really positive life insurance policies that add to a retirement planning, especially in what we're talking about today, the theme of the big tax freight train coming. Remember, all the gains because of the tax code 7702, if it's locked into an insurance policy, those gains are tax-free. So that is why it is a superior strategy to include into retirement plan. Not all your eggs in this basket, but to include it. So that's Ray, Justine, this is what we preach and what we talk about.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Ron. 那我就知道为什么很多家庭最后都会选择了这个 IUL 作为自己的一个家庭理财的计划了。
对啊，瑞，你讲的很对尽管我是会计，我是跟每个客人都说要做401k 啊，要做 Roth 啊，是要做的。但是呢，就是说所有的东西都要考虑，不能老是就觉得这个是个坏东西，我就不考虑我们可以在最后看一张，我做了一个比较，就是如果你当初是把同样的钱放在401k traditional 401k， 还有一个呢就是放在那个 IUL 里面，你们看这差别很大，到年纪大的时候，你每年可以拿出来的钱差很多为什么刚才的11万5现在变成9万3了呢？是因为要交税，所以到你手里只有9万3 OK， 但是呢那个 IUL 你可以拿15万3，这个差别是不是很大，王瑞？
对，我看一下，这基本上差了有6万块。
对啊，
对，还是很
不得了的事情对，而且是每一年如果你活了30年的话，这个是多少
这确实差距真的是很大。
对，
没错
所以的话呢，我是会计，我当然也做保险，就是我为什么会做保险的原因，我很相信保险，我自己也有很多保险，不同的保险，我的孩子也都买了很多这样的保险，而且我一直说的，就给孩子买保险是非常好的。为什么呢？我从来没有想过给我孩子买保险去付那个教育，可是不可能的，我的教育都是做的529。我给我孩子买保险是一个什么呢？教育他们一个 financial 的 knowledge。等到他们21岁的时候，当我把保单给他们的时候，他们一看，哇，里面有5万、10万的现金价值。妈妈，你当初放了多少钱？哇，真的是这样的。那么他们也会买。还有一个呢，现在的孩子就是说，其实也没什么。我大女儿有忧郁症，对吧？那她就再也买不到人寿保险了，但至少她就有一份了。她在小的时候我已经给她买好了，她就对吧？她的孩子就有保障了。所以我觉得。你们听到没有？这个保险有很多其他东西，当然今天我们主要讲税，但保险有太多其他的生前利益还有吧，还有2点我想说的，让没有讲到的。我们刚才的假设是 Frank 跟 Lena， 活到97岁，对吧？大家还记得30年。那他活到101岁怎么办，王瑞？
如果是 401k 的话，应该就没有钱了吧？他可能只有
就用完了，按照我们的计划，对不对？
对。
但是如果是人寿保险的话，现在所有的人寿保险都放到120岁，但你活到120岁之上也没有问题，因为他在120岁的时候会把你的整个的 death benefit 就是在生前就给你了，所以你永远都用不完这个钱。所以这个就是我们美国人喜欢讲的 ，you never outlive your money。其实到了年纪大了，最担心的是 outlive your money，right？
没错。
还有一种情况，就刚才你问我的问题，如果 Franklin 呢没有活到30年，他们只活了20年，或者一个活了10年，一个活了15年，那剩下来的钱呢，给了孩子，孩子还要交税。如果孩子很出色、很优秀的话，税还交的更多。你前面省的税跟这个比，简直不能比。但如果是人寿保险的话呢，他就拿到了所有的这些钱，都不需要交所得税 ，income tax free because of 7702，是不是很 powerful？
对，这样对比起来，这个人寿保险还是优势非常明显，这确实是，难怪很多美国富豪的家庭都选择这个方式。
对，其实就是任何一个东西都有它的一个 place， 就是永远不要用一种非常极端的东西来看，好像人寿保险就是，那你只要有一份人寿保险，其他什么都不要，我绝对不赞同这个看法。但它一定是你的整个的 financial plan 里面的一个部分，这个部分是占多少由你自己来决定，每个人的爱好、偏好、preference、risk tolerance 都是完全不一样的，是吧？